open so far, it has been a very busy transfer window for PSG. Not only have they managed to sign Jorginho Wijnaldum, Achraf Hakimi, Sergio Ramos, it now seems, according to reports, that Gigi Donnarumma will also be making the move to the club, but they're not done yet and they are still looking at other transfers. And two names that have been mentioned are Paul POGBA and Cristiano Ronaldo. So starting with Paul POGBA, according to ESPN, the club are interested in the Manchester United player in order to boost their midfield. Now, of course, Paul POGBA is entering the final 12 months of his contract with Manchester United. Reportedly, discussions have been had, but there have been no concrete contract offers just yet. And Pogba is reportedly intrigued by what PSG are doing. Of course, the 28-year-old did finish last season pretty strong with Manchester United, and with France at Euro 2020, although they did crash out quite early, he still had some brilliant performances. So you can understand why PSG are definitely interested. And of course, I think one advantage for PSG is that Paul Pogba's agent is, of course, Mino Raiola, who they've already done business with in getting Donnarumma. And Raiola has already spoken out about how he believes that Pogba perhaps needs to move away from Old Trafford. However, with reports that Manchester United are set to try and offer Pogba a £400,000 a week contract, if they do manage to pin him down, then PSG are still going to be looking at Rennes Eduardo Camavinga and Lazio's Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. However, if PSG do want to make a signing in midfield, then they're probably going to have to relieve some of their current midfielders of their duties, as it's getting a little bit busy in that area of the pitch. So allegedly, Pablo Sarabia, Ander Herrera and Leandro Perez are all players that could be linked with moves away from the club in order to make room potentially for Pogba. And then of course there is Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. So according to ESPN again, Ronaldo is allegedly very intrigued by PSG, what moves they've been making in the transfer window, what their plans are for the next season, and reportedly if he was going to leave Juventus and head anywhere, PSG would probably be the main option. Now, his agent has allegedly been sitting down with Juventus to try and figure things out for Ronaldo to be staying at the Serie A side, but there have also been reports that talks could have actually been had with PSG. Of course, it would be a great reunion with Angel Di Maria. The two of them worked really, really well at Real Madrid. I'm not too sure where they would fit Ronaldo in, depending on if Mbappe stays, where Neymar would be playing. Would Ronaldo be more of a centre forward or more on the wings? I'm not too sure, but all very exciting stuff. I'm not too sure if I can 100% see Cristiano Ronaldo at the club, but all very exciting, and it just seems like PSG are nowhere near done when it comes to transfers. Our next story is all about one of the emerging stars from Euro 2020. Now, one of the great things about the European Championship is that it really does shine a light on some of the talent from the competition that you maybe haven't seen play before. It allows them to really express themselves on the pitch, and for some, it doesn't do their career much harm. And one of these players that is now being linked with numerous different moves is Denmark's Mikkel Damsgaard. So the 21-year-old does play for Sampdoria. He made the move only last summer for around €7 million, but since his performances for Denmark in Euro 2020, of course, especially people will remember that long-range effort against Russia and that brilliant free kick against England. What this means is that his stock has been rising and fast, and allegedly the club's president is pretty happy about this. So said President Massimo Ferrero did state a few weeks ago that his price tag was now €30 million, but if he scored again it would go up to 40. Well, he did score again, and allegedly the club now will only hear of offers around €40 million. Since they only bought him last summer for €7 million, that is a pretty big jump. So allegedly, Juventus and both Milan clubs have been interested in the player, but now because of the price tag, they are reportedly a little bit wary. But quite a few Premier League teams are also interested in the player, mainly Leicester City, Leeds United and Spurs. I think looking at all of these teams, I feel like Juventus, AC Milan and Spurs definitely have that area of the pitch probably covered. So I think a move to Inter Milan maybe could be possible, as when you think about that left side, they've had Ivan Perisic, Ashley Young playing on that area of the pitch. Of course, Ashley Young has now left the club, so bringing in a young talented player that can play in that area of the pitch I think would be a good option. However, Damsgaard has stated before allegedly that he's a little bit wary about leaving the Italian club too soon, so maybe he will actually stay. However, if somebody comes knocking at your door with a very lucrative deal after you've had a brilliant Euro 2020 campaign, sometimes it is hard to ignore. Of course, Denmark unfortunately did crash out the competition to England, who will be facing Italy at the weekend. And do not forget, if you want more Euro 2020 content, make sure that you check out the One Football app and the Volkswagen One Hub as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, the links are directly beneath this video. Next up, and Liverpool are reportedly preparing a €40 million bid for Saul Niguez. So the Atletico Madrid player has been one of the unknowns really, as it does seem like he is going to be moving away from the club. Their first candidates to get him was Bayern Munich, but this seemingly isn't on the table anymore. So now Liverpool are allegedly the main team that are after the player. The player has gone from being arguably one of their most important in the team to actually falling out of the starting 11 in the last season. It's maybe not been the easiest season, but he is still a very talented player. He does have a contract with Atletico until 2026. And his buyout clause is allegedly 150 million euros, but Atletico have said that if he does want to leave, they will open the exit door for him and will be willing to listen to offers. So looking at his situation with Atletico Madrid, and I think all parties involved in the situation can understand that it perhaps is time for him to depart. Of course, they already have the likes of Koke, Lamar, Llorente, and also potentially the upcoming arrival of Rodrigo de Paul, who has been linked with the club. There's Hector Herrera, Jeffrey Kondogbia that have also been impressing for Atletico Madrid. So yeah, looking at that area of the pitch, you can understand why he is potentially looking for a move. And he reportedly believes that his skill set would be best in the Premier League. So with this in mind, a few Premier League clubs are reportedly interested. So obviously, like I say, Liverpool are reportedly preparing to make a bid for him, which definitely makes sense considering they are missing Jorginho Wijnaldum now, and he could also link up with fellow countryman Thiago. Also, Manchester United have been linked with the player quite a few times. However, I feel like if that deal is going to happen, it probably already would have been in motion by now. And then, of course, there is Chelsea. However, I feel that they've got bigger fish to fry since they are on the hunt for a striker. So a move to Liverpool could definitely be a good option for him. Our next story is all about Chelsea and Olivier Giroud, as it seems he is finally going to be departing from the club and heading to AC Milan. So numerous news outlets, including Sky Italia, have reported that the deal is pretty much done and dusted between Chelsea and AC Milan, and that the London team have accepted a €1 million bid for the player, including an extra €1 million in added bonuses. Now, the transfer fee isn't huge, let's be honest. However, he is a 34-year-old in the final year of his contract, so you can understand why it wasn't major money. And to be fair, Chelsea did well to actually get the transfer fee for him, as of course only last month they activated an automatic extension option on his current contract, even though they knew that he would probably be departing from the club, to make sure that they did at least get some cash for Giroud. Now, Giroud departing from Chelsea is certainly understandable. He did seem to fall out of favour, especially with the arrival of Thomas Tuchel, who didn't really get that much game time, but he will be remembered at Chelsea for scoring some great goals for them, especially recently that 5-2 in the Champions League, of course. However, Chelsea already have quite a lot of different attacking options. They're also in the market for a new striker, as I've mentioned previously, so the move definitely makes sense, and it will be really interesting to see him at AC Milan. He will of course be pairing up with 39-year-old Zlatan Ibrahimovic in attack, and I can't wait to see what he brings to Syria. And now we have our transfer roundup, because where I take a look at some of the other news and transfers going on in the footballing world. And first up, Diego Simeone has